How's it going, everyone? It's Spencer here with Spencer's Stuff. Welcome to the community. I appreciate you being here. It's been about a month since I made my last YouTube video, and I've had the WH-1000XM6s for about a month now. I didn't make a video on them, but I've had plenty of time to EQ them, and I've really dialed that in to make it the best sounding headphone that I can possibly have with what is given. So in this video, I'm gonna run through those EQ settings, as well as this, I'm gonna give you one small tip if you're an Android user to get the ultimate audio experience from these headphones. Let's jump right on in. All right, let's throw these headphones on and let's get into this video. So jumping into my phone, you're going to go into your apps and you're going to look for the Sony Sound Connect app. You're going to go into your equalizer settings. I have mine on custom 1. I'm going to hit the little gear icon, and this is my setting right here. I'm just going to say it right away because you might not want to watch this whole video. 31, -2, 63, -2, 125, -1, 250, -1, 500, -2, 1 kilohertz, 0, 2 kilohertz, -1, 4K, -2, and then 0 and 0 for 8K and 16K. Honestly, you're probably gonna click off the video after this, and I understand. So I'm gonna go through each of these regions real quick and kind of give you the reasoning why I did this. At 31 hertz, I found that this headphone is already kind of bass heavy and a little bit muddy, and I found it kind of took out of the mid-range a bit. I brought this down 2 dB because I want detailed bass, I don't want muddy bass. So by bringing this down 2 dB, I still get really nice sound when it comes to bass guitar and whatever else, and same with the 63 hertz region. Now 63 hertz is typically where you get your chest bump, you know, so if you're someone who listens to more rock music or something along those lines, you might want to increase this a decibel or 2. At the 125 and 250 hertz region, this was another one of those things where I still wanted enough bass detail, and if I brought them down too low, I found that I lost a bit in the bass instruments, so I didn't want to bring those down too low. And in the 500 hertz region, this is kind of the honkiness territory when it comes to vocals. I brought this down because I found that this headphone kind of brings out vocals a little bit too much on the lower end, and I didn't like the sound that was being produced from vocalists, especially males. So I brought this down a little bit, and it really kind of took that lower edge off it, I guess, and made it less round, if that makes sense. At the 1 kilohertz region, I have this at 0 dB because I found that this helped voices and brought them out in the mix a little bit. It sounded nice. 2 kilohertz brought this one down 1 dB, same reason, just I thought it sounded more pleasant with voices and instruments. Now the 4 kilohertz region, 4 to 8K, this is kind of where your T's, your S's, and whatever else, the sibilance kind of lies. And I did not want this to be too aggressive, and I found in this headphone that they kind of were. I was getting annoyed kind of listening to S's being talked about, and especially in podcasts and whatever else. So by bringing down the 4K, it really helped on make this less harsh and less annoying, I guess, over the time that I was listening, and it just sounded more clean and developed of a sound. And then the 8K and 16K, I left those at 0 because I found that this headphone already does a pretty decent job bringing out cymbals and other things along those lines. So for me, listening to jazz, experimental, rock, anything along those lines, electronic music, anything, I never felt that this headphone with this EQ struggled, and I was getting the full clarity and dynamics that I was looking for versus the original mix or the original EQ that came with these headphones. Now, if you're someone who's more of a bass head, you're probably gonna wanna bring the 31 and 63 hertz region up a little bit, but I will say that you're gonna get a little bit of muddiness. Now, the big thing that I talked about at the beginning of this video is there's one other option that you can use as an Android user to make your sound even better. So in your settings, I go to System and Update. I have the OnePlus 13. This is going to defer based on the phone that you have. And for me, I go into my developer options. You can Google how to get in your developer options depending on what phone you have. And from here, you're going to want to scroll down and find your Bluetooth settings. So for me, and as I said, this is only on Android, I always leave everything on LDAC because LDAC is my highest quality Bluetooth codec that I have. And what you want to go to is Bluetooth audio LDAC codec playback quality. You have to redo this every single time you use this headphone, which is very unfortunate, but if you want the ultimate listening experience wirelessly, you want to optimize for audio quality. The headphone will go automatically to best effort at our adaptive bit rate, and it still sounds good, but it's got a lot more compression to it. By changing to balance audio and connection or optimized for audio quality especially, you're going to get much more dynamic sound. It's going to be a lot richer. The separation and details and instruments is going to be way better than what you had before. And I really do recommend doing this every single time you're listening to this headphone, because your experience listening to music is going to be a lot better. Now, if you're someone who's already listening to MP3s or streaming music that's already pretty lossy from, say, Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Music's hit or miss sometimes, but I found that they're pretty good, especially from what I've heard. I don't use it, but I've heard great things from it. I think you're going to be very pleased when you listen to it with these settings. Now, if you're in a very congested environment, you're going to want to do balanced audio and quality connection, or 660 kilobits. That will be a good middle ground. If you're someone who is in your house or something, change it to the 990 and you're going to get the best audio performance possible. I hope these EQ settings have given you the sound quality that you desire from your WH-1000XM6s. If you have any more questions, please leave them down in the comments below. I should be posting a review next week for this headphone. Being that I've already had them for a month, I'll be able to give you a little bit more detail from this review, as well as the overall sound quality, build, whatnot. So yes, thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day, great evening, and I will see you all later. Thank you all so much for watching. Goodbye.